What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? We're live. We're live. What's up, guys? Andy Kruger here. Obviously, let's get us pulled up. Let's let some people get on here. We're looking good. How you guys feeling today? Let me just get all, there we go. There we go. There we go. What's up, y'all? Live dog training Q&A once again with yours truly. Ask me anything about dog training. Don't be weird out there. Hope you guys are training. Hopefully wherever you are, you're getting some decent weather. What's up? How we doing? So I'll give people a few minutes to jump on. These things get pretty fun. Even if you watch them on the replay, we have some fun here. The other day, I did a poll on this YouTube channel. I'll pull it up here and read it for you guys. I thought the results were interesting. I said, question for all the dog owners out there. Do you put bedding/toys in your puppy or dog's crate? Genuinely curious? There's no wrong answers, okay? It's not a trap. You can say you do. It's not a trap. 41% yes, 35% no, 24% depends. And I put that depends in there because it's dogs. Things always depend, don't they? Good morning. What's up? What's up? Good morning. Here's the reason I pose this question. Do you put bedding in your puppy or dog's crate? A lot of people said yes. A bunch of people said no. And then a bunch of people said depends. I'm generally no, but I can lean into the depends category a little bit too. So if you've seen the videos on my channel, brand new, watch them. They're good. My new puppy, Clark, Boykin Spaniel, got him at 8 weeks old. Don't kill me, guys. I got a bed in his crate. I got a couple toys in his crate. Let me explain. He's a pet dog. He's just going to be bopping around the Kruger house, having a good time. We don't need to compete with him. We don't need his skills and nerves to be tip of the spear elite. Just a fun little pet dog. I put the stuff in there after having him a day. I go, he ain't going to do anything with that. He lays in that bed. He don't have accidents in there. He don't chew it up. He gets in that bed, curls up, and he takes a little nap. It's a Boykin Spaniel puppy. So I don't have any problem with that. If there's people out there that go, yeah, I put a bed in my dog's crate, I put toys in my dog's crate, they do not have accidents. They do not chew it up at all. I don't have a huge problem with that. But as a professional dog trainer, if I'm getting a new dog that's coming here to stay with me under my care for a period of time, I just can't put anything in the crate with them. I don't care if they have a long history of being fine with it at home. It's a safety risk. Stress hits the dog in a way it's never hit them before. They're a little out of sorts. The horror stories I've heard throughout my career of dogs consuming bedding and toys in a crate, it's a very long list, unfortunately, of stories I've heard like that. So even if there's a 1% chance of the dog chewing it up and swallowing it, for my business, for my clients, I don't take that chance. Maybe it's an older dog I know very well. Okay, I can put a little bed in there for him or whatever. But the one thing I did want to mention about that, if I go out and get a new Belgian Malinois puppy that I am going to train to compete in the highest level of dog sport, level 3 French ring, I ain't putting no beds in their crate. This dog should be the tip of the spear. They should be elite. they should be the 1% of dogs. If you start putting all that bedding and stuff in there with them, it kind of makes them a wimp. Sorry, it kind of makes them a wimp. Of course, there's some dogs out there, no matter what you do, they'll always be a beast. There's exceptions. But for the most part, a guy doesn't walk into boot camp and I go, okay, so here's your king size bed. We do have a dehumidifier there for you. It's a down comforter. We'll wake you up with a little bit of soft music in the morning. There's your cot. We'll wake you up in an hour. I want the dog. And if you have the genetics of that kind of dog that can be the tip of the spear, they're probably just going to shred the crap out of it anyways. Bad habits. A lot of dogs definitely go to the bathroom on it and they're like, oh, that was good. I don't have to sit in it. But for a true working dog that I want to be one of the best in the world, you ain't getting a bad. It's going to make you soft. Maybe when you're a little bit older, if you don't chew it, you can get something in there if you're lucky. But generally speaking, I stay away from it. But of course, little Clark, there's always exceptions. We got going on here. Morning. What's up, y'all? Hello, hello. Come on. Give me something. Sorry, my chat's a little froze up here. Come on, work with me. There we go. There we go. We got it. What's up, Ashley? Love the podcast with Nate. Doing a go home with Fluffy, with a fluffy little guy today. Advice. Well, thank you, Ashley. I did just recently go on Nate Schomer's podcast at Nate Schomer on YouTube. Shoemer. Great guy. Tons of dog content. Legit trainer. I like him quite a bit. This is the first time I ever spoke with him, but I made a post. That podcast is out on Nate's channel. Give it a listen, guys. And even if you don't want to give it a listen, just let it play in the background. You can even leave the room. Let's get to boys' views on that bad boy, huh? Let's go. Ashley, advice for your go home? Simple, basic. I know I'm telling you things you already know, but here's a little example for you. I just did a visit with one of my board and trained dogs right now. He goes to a assisted living facility / kind of nursing home Monday through Friday. His owner is in charge over there, so he's roaming around. Ashley, I did a lesson with him yesterday at that facility. He goes home this coming week for an hour with the whole staff. And these people are about as much of dog training enthusiasts as this desk is. You know, they just want to love on this dog. Here's what we did, Ashley. The entire hour was focused on one thing and one thing only, him not jumping. It's one of his biggest, he's a doodle, he's young. Ooh, the jumping is killing me there. He jumps on everyone. He's e-collar trained. We're fixing it. That was the only thing we went over. I'm not saying to do that in your go home, but I know with this group of people, if I would have tried to do any more, here's sit stay, here's reinforcement, here's how you pet. That ain't for them. We need the dog to just not jump, not rocket science. So if you're a dog trainer, you're doing a go home, remember these people, they're interested in their dog, they're interested in learning the training so that they can make the changes. This is all worth it, but they don't need a big lesson on dog training. Keep it simple. Here's the climb command. Here's how you put the dog on. Here's what you do if the dog comes off. Let's go. Basic, basic, basic. Dog trainers forget all the time. Not everyone is as enthusiastic as they are about all the fine details of dog training. So keep it basic, keep it simple. Remember, Ashley, you can follow up with these people every week if you want. until the end of time. But in that go home lesson, you have about an hour to an hour and a half where these people's minds will be fresh, open, ready to take in information. Anything past that point, it's a little bit of overload. You know, if you think of just going to school, the amount of time a class is, there's really no classes that are 2 to 3 hours. Okay, I'm sure there are, but just normally, generally speaking, because there's just an amount of time your brain's good for new info and then it gets tired. Keep it basic and only focus on the things that they are going to immediately need right now for the next week. I always try to stay away in go homes when I train a dog for 3 weeks and then reunite it with the owner and train the owner. I try to stay away from all the what if possibilities. I tell the owners, we are game planning for the next 7 days. That's it. So if the owner's thinking, oh, that's how I recall my dog, got it. What if I'm in the park, he's off leash, there's another dog over there, he sees the other dog, he starts go. I understand, we will get there. That's not going to happen in the next 7 days. So we're not even going to touch that scenario right now. I'm not going to teach you how to pull an emergency move on the highway when I'm just teaching you how to drive for the first time. Keep that in mind, Ashley. I'm sure your go-homes will be very good. Ashley, longtime Patreon student, patreon.com/Andy Kruger. Join the Cool Kids Club. Ashley's been on there forever, and she is one heck of a dog trainer now. Yes, that's right, Ashley. First time responding to a live Q&A. I'm looking to become a dog trainer in the future. What do you recommend to somebody who's interested in becoming a trainer such as myself? Great question. You have to find a really great trainer, and you have to harass them very nicely bug them and harass them. Don't be weird. That's what it's all about. You got to find a guy or a gal who is willing to take you under their wing in some sense. In person is going to be really tough for that. You know, you're not the only one that wants that spot. One option on my Patreon, the mentorship tier, that's kind of what I do virtually. We're on the phone all the time. We're doing video exchanges all the time. You basically have access to me. Whether you do it for a month or you do it for many months, you got me. You know, there's no pre-planned course of every dog trainer must go through these steps. No, it's a little bit more real than that. We talk, I get to know you, I get to know your skills, I see the area you're in, what's close. Do you have a dog? Do you want to get a dog? What dogs have you worked with? What have you done with these dogs? Point you in the direction of certain videos that are there on Patreon. So I do offer that virtually. It's probably an easier place to start than trying to find someone in person. And this isn't even trying to be like a big sale for my Patreon. Find any trainer that offers some kind of, I don't know many that do, but you get the idea. But when you do ultimately get the opportunity to work with a trainer in person and learn some stuff, you want to show up with a bunch of skills already. An open mind, a very open mind, a very humble mind, but you got some know-how, you got some general stuff already. So then when you do get the opportunity to be with that trainer, no matter how long it is, you make the most out of that time. Somebody showed up here and they're like, teach me to be a trainer. I literally know nothing. I'd go, okay, do you have $1 million? Do you know how much work that's going to be? You know how long that's going to take? So online can be a dangerous place for dog training content, kind of the Wild West. What the heck do I listen to? But if you like me and my training, whatever you see on the YouTube, especially whatever you see on the Patreon, for sure you know you can follow that and it's not going to be something goofy that might be out there. But you really got to find a trainer, and you have to have a dog. If you want to be a dog trainer, go get a dog. Get a dog for free from someone. Doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter the genetics. Okay, in a couple months, rehome the dog, find the dog an amazing home. Get a dog, watch my videos, and take the dog through the training sessions. It's even better if you have kind of a difficult dog. You know, a rescue, an older dog, take them through the training program. You want to learn to become a dog trainer? My new puppy course on YouTube, totally free. Free on Patreon without the ads. I hate the ads. Take a dog through that puppy course. Doesn't get any more basic. And everything you see in those videos, you can do that with any dog and you can't go wrong. You know, so that's where I would start. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll, though. Strap in. What else we got here? Great question. Here's Ashley. The advice from you for 2 dogs using their names is money. Name means attention. Would be fun to hear you talk about this. Yeah, so a little while back, Ashley asked me, she was training 2 dogs. And she's like, well, they have the same commands. So if I want to release one from place and have the other one stay, have one of them come, one call, etc., you got to use the names. So picture you have 2 dogs walking in heel with you. One on each side, both on the left side, doesn't matter. And you go, Fluffy, sit. Fluffy hits a sit, you keep walking, and Cinnamon keeps walking with you. And you go, Fluffy, heel. Here comes Fluffy, Cinnamon down. Cinnamon lays down, you and Fluffy keep walking. Fluffy free. Fluffy comes off climb, Cinnamon stays on climb. If you have 2 dogs that you work together, if they're trained in the same language, preface the command with their name. Name just means attention. Fluffy? Yes, Daddy? Sit? Okay, Daddy. Cinnamon heard sit, but Cinnamon didn't hear Cinnamon. So he knows to keep on moving. Very good technique for 2 dogs. I'm moving to a new house soon. How would you go about when moving in and bringing the dog into a whole new home that they know nothing about? Great question. Obviously, this is going to depend on the dog a little bit. But let's just say you have a pretty straightforward, pretty good, pretty well-behaved, well-trained dog. Let him on in that house. Let him explore a little bit within reason. This is the part of socialization called familiarization, aka the dog explores the environment. So yeah, let him walk around the house a little bit. I said it depends on the dog. If he's going to lift his leg and pee on stuff, you know, maybe don't do that. Let the dog familiarize themselves with the house. The first training session you do in the new house should be super fun for the dog, 100% success rate, no corrections. Even if your dog has no training, can they follow a lure? Make the dog's first several training experiences in that house really awesome. You're not going sit, stay, no, sit, stay, good, no, sit. Very bad session for the new house. Sit, yes, nice job, down, stay, yes, food, good boy, place, good, feed, free, yes, feed, boom, 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 interactive, fun, setting the dog up for success. Then get the dog nice and tired, take him for a little run outside, go put him in their crate in the new place, leave him in there a couple hours, let him out, potty, explore the house a little bit, super fun training session, back in the crate. That's how I would do it. But, you know, dogs adapt to new environments very, very quickly, assuming they don't have some crazy issue. They live in the moment, they adapt. I see it with my board and trains all the time. New dog shows up. Oh, I'm weird the first day. Second, third, fourth day. I've been here forever. They adapt quick. So the only thing you want to avoid is like, I'm in a new house, go place. No, I said place. That's not really a great experience. So you get the idea. A lot of routine and a lot of structure though. I said let the dog explore the house, let the dog familiarize himself with the house. What does he need, 5 minutes to do that? 5 or 10 minutes? And then, hey, let's go outside. Let's let him do the same thing outside. Hey, let's play with him a little bit. Hey, let's train a little bit inside. Okay, go to your crate. It's pretty structured. It's not just like the dog's wandering around for 3 hours. You know, we don't need that. Okay, getting ready to have a hip replacement. My boy is ready to trial. Going to be down for 2+ weeks. Is running him with the side-by-side enough to keep him fit or anything else I can do? Yeah, for 2 weeks. That's kind of what I would focus on. Just doing some cardio with the dog, you know, whether that's running or I don't know if you're able to have the dog on a bite and work with him when you're sitting down. I don't want you to tweak anything. But yeah, just hit some cardio with the dog. Keep the dog moving pretty good every day. Keep the blood flowing. Keep the endurance going. Let me offer you this. A dog, he's trained up. He's going into trial season. You got to take some time off. Sometimes just taking a little time off from your training with an already well-trained dog, it does the dog some good, okay? Little summer break from school. What kid doesn't like that? Give your dog a little break, and you might be surprised because when they come back, if your training's good, they come back super fresh, super reinvigorated. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Sometimes a little time off can do a dog some good, but not time off sitting in a crate. So keep him running, keep his heart pumping. That'd be my game plan. Training the owner. Oh, yeah. Not easy. Not easy to do. All the dog trainers out there will tell you, man, if my job was just training a dog, this job would be super easy. Every once in a while, you'll get a difficult dog, give you a run for your money. But if I just have to sit here and train dogs all day, oh man, that'd be a much easier job. Training the owners, it's very difficult. People don't live in the moment like dogs. They're thinking about all this and that, and the dog's just in front of them. What are we doing right now? Owners are very tough to train. Very tough. I have 2 German Shepherds and looking at introducing a Malinois puppy. What or how would you go about this? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to be totally honest here. You have 2 German Shepherds. You're looking to introduce a Malinois puppy. Of course, there's things as a dog trainer I can tell you to do that are likely to give you a higher rate of success than doing them another way. But when it's dog on dog, it just comes down to the dogs. It comes down to your German Shepherds. It comes down to the puppy. You could get one Malinois puppy, bring it home, just introduce it to your dogs. And there are times out there in the world where that's fine. And the dogs get to know each other and they're real good friends and everything's great. Of course that happens, but if you go get another Malinois, bring it home, do the exact same thing, it could be a colossal disaster. It really comes down to the dogs here. If they're going to be around each other, there's only so much training and stuff we can do. It's dog on dog at that point. Introducing a new dog to a small group daycare. Let's just compare it to that. Could be good, could be a mess. I'm going to do my best to make it as good as I can, but some dogs just aren't meant to be in that situation. You're probably not going to like my answer, Mike, but with a Malinois puppy and with German Shepherds, I would have that puppy for months before I made a formal introduction to the other dogs. And a lot of owners right off the bat go, okay, that's not an option for me. Like, to be honest, I'm just not going to do that, Andy. Fair. I get it. I get it. Fair. But it's what I would do. My new puppy, Clark, we've had him for probably a month, it seems like. He hasn't met any of my dogs. He's this big. My other dogs are huge. Freddie, he's not like aggressive with other dogs, but he's a gigantic Malinois working dog. A terrible dog to introduce a puppy to. My puppy hasn't met anyone. I want to create a bond between me and my puppy. Get out of here, other dogs. I want it between me and my puppy. I want a great bond. I want the puppy to settle into the house beautifully. I want to establish my training. Watch the Clark videos, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, the puppy course. I want to be taking my dog through all those days of training, establishing a rapport, a relationship, and just getting in tune with this dog. And I want to have that. And I want the dog to be like 4 or 5 months old. I do that for months. I want to get him out of the infant stage. And then at that point, it's not like I'm like, okay, here you go. What? The other dogs, I'm going to bring them around each other, controlled. I'm going to do all the typical dog trainer crap. If you don't want to do that, I understand. You could do it like my dad does it. He brings home a new dog. He goes, here you go. Get to know each other. And it always seems to work out for him somehow. It doesn't have Malinois puppies, but you know, that's certainly an option. But really think about establishing a bond and a relationship one-on-one with that puppy. Get to know that puppy. Let the puppy get to know you. Because let's say you introduce it to the other dogs and everything goes amazing and they all love each other. That's huge competition for you. Your dog's probably going to get separation anxiety from those other 2 dogs if they spend a bunch of time with them. And he's going to play with those other dogs. He's going to wrestle with them. He's going to get like everything he wants day to day from those other dogs, minus food and water and shelter. He's going to get it. So then when you come in, hey, you want to work for a treat? The dog's like, I'd much rather just play with the other dogs. So I like to have that relationship before I do all that. Hoping at least gives you something to think about. Don't be in a rush for a face-to-face interaction. Don't be in a rush for that. I'd look to neutralize with all the dogs before I did the interaction part. Just my opinion. One male, one female, both are 2 years old. Yep. Crate training? Question mark? Definitely crate train your new puppy. 100%, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, for sure. Adopting a 3-year-old Tervuren soon. Will free time outside with a spot on collar hinder training? How much time would you make crate versus training versus free time? Let me make sure I understand this question. You're going to adopt a 3-year-old. Will time outside with a spot on collar hinder training? I don't know what that means. Do you mean like an invisible fence? If that's what you mean, will it hinder training? Maybe. Some dogs, you just put them right on the invisible fence before you do anything. They learn it, they're good. They do training, they learn it, they're good. It's no problem at all. But some dogs, if that's their first introduction to anything, might not be great. If you are talking about an invisible fence, I wouldn't be in a rush to do that at all. I love a retractable leash. I love a 30-foot long line. I'm not in a hurry to do that. You know, the dog's 3, the dog might live till double digits. You'll have time for an invisible fence if that's what you mean. I'm definitely not in a rush for that. And the age-old question, how much time would you make crate versus training versus free time? I'll give you numbers, but yeah, the combination of times there is different for every dog. Some dogs might be 33.33% of the time, have them crated. 33.3, have them 33. So you just divide it evenly among all of them. Okay. Does the dog go in the crate, plop down, hang out, no matter what, doesn't care? Great. Dog's crate trained. I'm going to use my crate. I don't really have to focus on crate training though. The dog's like already totally good at a crate. Let's pretend that's the case. Well, the percentage of crate time isn't as important. It's still important, but it's not as important than if the dog goes in there and just goes ballistic the whole time. That dog's going to need a lot of crate time. So how their behavior is in the crate will dictate that. Like, they're so good and quiet in there, you think something is medically wrong with them? Okay, you don't need to focus on it all the time. But the opposite, you get the point. I like the free time, 95% of it is outside if possible. I'm talking when I just get a brand new dog. It's an older dog. Free time outside. And throughout the day, give them hours of free time outside. That's totally fine. Couple hours here, a couple hours there, 20 minutes outside here, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. Accumulate as much as you can throughout the day. That's not such a big deal. Versus the training time. The training time should be the biggest percentage here, and I don't care the details of the dog. I want the dog training when they're in the house. That's why I do the free time outside. So when we come in from outside and I don't put that dog in the crate, the dog's immediately thinking, oh, I guess we're going to train now. That's a nice way to have it. So you can play with the percentages, but the dog should be crated more than they're free. And when the dog is in the house, you want him thinking, hey, we're about to train. I hope that helps. Okay, Michael says, yes, Mike, separate with crate so puppy can be separated while you do the training with puppy. I have a 9-week-old German Shepherd. I'm following your new puppy training videos. Awesome, thank you. When luring, she has started to lunge for my hand. I also get my hand bit a lot. Is that normal? I don't know if I'd say it's normal, but it's possible. You know, little Clark isn't a German Shepherd, but he bangs up my hand sometimes. I've had him for about a month, and I haven't gotten banged up recently, so I think now we kind of got the whole thing down. But yeah, these little puppies, they're just like a little piranha. I mean, they just go foodie, yeah, 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 yeah. Especially if you're bringing it away, whack, and they're coming towards it. Oh yeah, you'll get banged up a little bit. An older dog is a different story, but with a puppy, throw on a heavy-duty glove. I said it. Throw on a heavy-duty gardening glove on your lure hand. Here's the reason. Some dogs, puppies, taking food out of your hand a certain way is a skill set. It requires deliberation, calculation, their brain controlling what their body does. You get lucky sometimes and they just take it, it's no problem. We don't even, great, lucky. But if they're really banging you, you can't really address that. Like, hey, stop biting it so hard. I'm going to teach you to bite it softer. We can't really get there at 9 weeks old. Like, that's not going to compute. We got to at least be 4 months old, usually. So just wear a heavy duty glove. Let the puppy grab, grab, grab. Now your lure, since the dog is so psycho, do a closed hand lure. So you have it and the dog's coming after it. And then when you do mark it, yes. I say yes, and I shove it into the dog's face, so much so that they have to go move back a little and come back. It helps that crack, crack, because if they're coming, boom, and getting it, it's like prey drive. It's like they're catching rabbit. And it's a 9-week-old puppy, so they just know whack. They're not thinking about where's the treat exactly. So the heavy duty glove will just help you work through like the next month without getting your hand destroyed and without sidetracking all your sessions to be like, oh, stop it, that hurt. That's what I would do for now. Circle back with me in a live or two from now and let me know how that's going. Thank you, Mike. Can't agree more with choosing one trainer and going deep. Why not find the best in the world? I did mentorship tier and it was so worth every cent. Recommended 1,000,000%. Thank you, Ashley. I paid her to say that. Selena says to become a decent handler, what foundational habit matters most? And what derails them? Great question. Okay, Selena's saying, how do you become a good handler? What should I watch out for? This is where dog sports really help. Let me explain. Take French ring, for example, the dog sport I compete in. Probably the best dog sport. The handling rules are so specific. You can't breathe wrong out there. The handling is so meticulous. It's so specific. Take inspiration from that. I tell my Patreon members all the time, you're not going to compete with your dog. You have no desire to do that. You don't have the right dog for it. Great. Look at a dog sport like French ring. Look at the rule book. Look at the heeling exercise. There's a heel on leash exercise in every level. Look at that. What are the rules for the heel on leash? Put your dog away, go outside, pretend you have a dog next to you that does everything perfect. It's my favorite dog. It's an invisible dog. Go out there without a dog, pretend you have the dog, and just focus on your handling per the French ring rules. So you come up to the line, sit, separate from your dog, stay, get your collar, leash, put it on the dog, wait, judge, dog heel, start walking forward. It's a basic heel on leash exercise. Run through it without your dog. And now when you do that successfully, you know exactly how to handle in this dog sport in the heeling exercise. So you know right away you're doing it right. The exercise is there for a reason. This has been thought about. That's the right way to do it. You kind of need rules to follow. Is this good handling? Yeah, that's pretty good. It's all subjective. You need rules. Run through it without your dog, even if you are a competitor. run through the exercises without your dog. Because here's what happens. You want to focus on being a handler and a handler only. You want to focus on your movements, your voice. That's all you're thinking about. But then you got Dodo next to you who keeps making mistakes, acting like an idiot. And so now you have to leave handler mode and you have to go into dog training mode. You can't really work on both at the same time. So the invisible dog is the key there. Absence of handler and French ring. You put your dog in a downstay, you walk 20 feet out of sight for 60 seconds, you return to the dog, you pick the dog up. That is stupid basic. It's a 1 minute downstay out of sight. A Chihuahua could do it. Basic, easy. But the way you bring your dog to the start line, the way you put your dog in a position, the way you walk away from your dog, the way you walk back to your dog, the way you call your dog into heel, the way you walk away, all of that is meticulously scored, and you have to do everything a certain way. So you could either go to ringsport.org, look at the 100-page rule book, and go through there. You could join my Patreon, and I could tell you, hey, do it exactly this way, however you want to do it, but use dog sport exercises as your training inspiration and learn those, how to handle in those situations, forwards and backwards, without your dog. And what derails people from becoming a good handler is just what I said, having to leave handler training mode and focus on something the dog did wrong. Are you training the dog or are you training yourself? Can you do both at the same time? Yeah, sometimes in some situations, but that's what derails people. The dog kind of doesn't do perfect, so now they can't proceed. Hope that helps. Hit the thumbs up, everybody. Thank you, Michael. Yes, hit the thumbs up. And if you're just joining, watch my podcast appearance on Nate Schomer's channel, at Nate Schomer. We got to get the views up on that. Come on, we got to get more views than some of these other guys out here, right? It's a couple hours. Turn it on your computer and leave the room if you want. I actually really like the podcast appearance because me and Nate talked about stuff that could just apply to everybody with a dog. It's not really specific one way or another. We had a great conversation though. I really think you guys will like it. I put up a post the other day. All right, what do we got here? What do we got here? How would I keep them separate for the 4 months? I'm open to anything. Good question, Mike. Would it be best to get a 4 or 5 month old Malinois rather than a puppy? I mean, I'd still recommend waiting that time, no matter how old the dog is, to get that one-on-one relationship with the dog. You know, it doesn't take a couple days, it takes a couple weeks, takes a couple months. How would you keep them separate? Well, I'll tell you how I do it. Right now, I have 3 personal dogs, Freddie, Jasper, and my new guy, Clark. None of them interact. They're all separate all the time, and there's reasons for it. There's reasons for it, and it's my preference. But how do I keep them separate? It's really easy. Clark's in a crate in my house. Jasper lives in my mudroom with his dog beds and whatnot. Freddie lives in my kennel in his 5x5 with his climb in there. And when I want to let Clark out, I go get Clark, I let him out, I bring him in, I hang out with him, I train him, I put him away. I go into Jasper's room, I let him out. I let him run around, I play with him a little bit, he goes back in the mud room. I go let Freddie out. I run him around, I train him, I hang out with him, I put him back. That's how I do it. Your German Shepherds, I know someone recommended in here, hey, crate them all next to each other. I'm not a huge fan of that. Not that it's not a good suggestion, but there is a chance with that suggestion it could be counterproductive. I like sure things. So while yes, it's a good suggestion, works for a lot of dogs, it's not guaranteed to be great for the puppy. And that's what I like. So I'd have your two shepherds, they already have their routine. They already have their whole thing. Don't worry about them. Find a location for your puppy's crate where puppy can just be alone and just be one with the crate in a spare room in the garage somewhere. Have puppy away. Do your thing with your shepherds. Let them hang. Let them out in the morning. Let them play. Let them hang out for a little bit. And if they're crate trained, you can have them go hang out in their crates for a little bit while you get the puppy. If they're not, section them off. Put them in a room. Put up a gate. Put them somewhere out of visual shot of the puppy. Bring the puppy out. Give them 10 minutes outside. Go potty. Bring the puppy in, do a 10-minute training session with them. Bring the puppy back outside, let him decompress, let him run around, play with him a little bit. Nice round with the puppy, maybe it's 30 minutes total, 45 minutes total, an hour. Put the puppy away, he's gonna be good for 2 hours. Let the shepherds out, hang out a couple hours, put the shepherds away, go grab your puppy. I know it sounds like a pain, and for some people, it definitely is. I understand that. I have a big property. I have a lot of yards. I have a lot of spaces where dogs can be. I even prefer to keep them separate. So it's really nothing for me. But in the typical household, I totally understand how wow, that's a lot more. And it is a lot more. That's what I would do though. Hey Andy, great to see you again. Are you going to do a seminar in the UK? Probably not, honestly. Probably not. I got a lot of stuff going on, and it's going to be going on for the foreseeable future. I don't really plan on traveling for any seminars. If I did, it would probably be maybe 4 to 5 hours from me in a car. If I did, if I really wanted to do a seminar, though, I usually don't. I would just have people come here. It's easier. So, no, you're not going to see me in the UK, but that's what Patreon and YouTube's for. Okay, Michael says, Mike, when I introduce puppy, she's mostly in the crate when not in training. I don't let the puppy become part of the pack until 6 months old, so puppy bonds well with me. Great point, Michael. I think we're on the same page with that. And think about it this way, Mike. You're making an investment early on. If you get a new puppy and you have to separate it from your current dogs for months, yeah, that's more time, energy, work than if you just did everything with all of them all together. It is more time, it is more effort, it's more work. You're making that investment now early, and hopefully that's going to pay dividends in the future. So, not suggesting to do this forever, obviously, but if you commit to those first couple months of just one on one, let's let you experience this environment and me and the training untainted by anything else. Let's get this groove going on, and then let's integrate you with the pack. If you make that investment, the ultimate introduction on paper should go a lot better than if you didn't do all that. Because, Mike, it's more than just do they all get along? It's more than that. Let's say they all get along famously. That doesn't mean you're smooth sailing. That doesn't mean your new Malinois puppy is going to have good training, is going to have good engagement, is going to have good environmentals. Doesn't mean their nerves are going to be sound. Doesn't mean that. It means it gets along with the other dog. When I get a puppy, I want my training. I want my relationship with that dog. It's fair to the puppy. I'm getting you. It's me and you, buddy. It's me and you. So think about more than just like, do they all get along? Do they all get along? But do I also have an individual, good, healthy relationship with each one individually? And if you start with always having them together, it's really hard to get to that point later. If that's the first thing that happens, then the intro, it's much easier for the puppy to switch out of that pack thing and come back to you. I hope that makes sense. You're welcome, Mike. Thanks for the question. My dog is not e-collar trained. Soon to be banned in the UK. For 12 months, we have been ignoring him barking and whimpering in the crate after hearing a noise outside. What ways to prevent further barking? Yeah, so Alfie, I'd probably say this on all my lives. If you want a dog to stop a behavior, the behavior has to be punished. If you want him to repeat a behavior, it has to be reinforced. If you want him to stop, it has to be punished. There's two ways on paper to punish: positive punishment and negative punishment. Negative punishment means you're ignoring, and that's exactly what you've been doing. So by ignoring this dog's barking, you are technically punishing it. Here's where you're at now. Negative punishment isn't working for the quiet in the crate. If it was going to work, it would have worked already. Usually 8 weeks to 12 weeks is the window where negative punishment is going to be really effective for the puppy. Even if you get an older dog and you have them for 3 weeks and you ignore them in the crate, you should see it work if it's going to work. You're at the point now where you have to go to positive punishment. You have to add something to the scenario to deter the dog from barking. Of course, e-collar is a great tool for that. Oh, you've been ignoring it for a year. Yeah. They're banned in the UK. I mean, yeah. Is someone going to come in your house and like search it for the, I mean, you know what I mean? No, but there's other things you can do with the crate. Yeah, the dog's barking in the crate. You know what? I give him a good old fashioned earthquake. March up to that crate. Hey, knock it off. Walk away. Ignoring ain't gonna work anymore. You have to address this somehow. Enough. Walk away. Or quiet. Some people get a spray bottle. A little bit of lemon in it. Quiet. I'm just telling you, if you can't use an e-collar, you gotta get up that dog's butt a little bit. You'll be like, hey, be quiet. Because when you walk into the room and the dog's barking, they go, oh, nice. My barking just got him to come open the crate. Quiet. You walk out. Not what I was expecting. What the heck was that? I didn't like that. I did not like that at all. Now, this probably isn't going to be a magic trick that you do it once and now the dog's quiet, but ignoring it has taken you as far as it's going to take you. You have to add some kind of aversive, whether that be actually physically on the dog or mentally. Whoa, that scared me. You have to add something unpleasant when that barking happens. And you can only do it once here or there. You can't march in there every time the dog makes a noise. You might be in and out the whole day. March your butt in there, bang. Scold them a little bit, walk out, and even if they continue, you got to start doing something. Would you say the owner needs to control every aspect of a dog's life? Would I say an owner needs to control every aspect of a dog's life? Yes and no. Here's what I do believe needs to be established with every dog or puppy that comes into your care. You establish that, hey, dog, I'm going to tell you when it's time to go into your crate. I'm going to tell you when it's time to come out of your crate. I'm going to tell you when it's time to go outside. I'm going to tell you when it's time to come inside. I'm going to tell you when it's time to play. I'm going to tell you when playtime's over. I'm going to tell you when it's time to train for some food. I'm going to tell you when the training session's over. I'm going to tell you when it's time to eat breakfast and dinner. I'm going to tell you when it's time to, hey, here's some water. So, yeah, you are making the decisions for the puppy or dog, and you are telling them it's time to do this, it's time to do that, it's time to do that. The reason I do that is because I get a great puppy, but now the puppy knows how I roll. The puppy just knows who the boss is, and I don't have to do any alpha crap. The dog already knows. This guy tells me when it's time to do everything. So I do like to have that, but it's so important to let a puppy or a dog be a dog. If you, I will control every aspect of your life. The dog will be like, shoot me in the head now. That sounds horrific. You have a problem. So it's not that serious. I say, hey, puppy, it's time to go outside. I let my new puppy outside. He's grabbing a pine cone. He's parading around with it. He's wandering over to the far corners of the yard, doing God knows what. He's being a silly puppy. I say, okay, puppy, we're in the house. It's time to play. And he's just being him. And he goes, this is how I play. And he's goofing around with this. He's goofing around with that. He's jumping here. He's over there. In his mind, he's doing whatever he wants. He's being a puppy. But I know that I initiated the play session, the free session, and I'll tell him when it's over. So there is a balance there. Don't be crazy with it and be like Captain Fun Police. But yeah, you got to be in control of what that puppy's doing and when, because then they know who the boss is and they don't have any confusion about that. Hey, my dog thinks he runs the house. Okay, I get it. It can be cute, but that could also be like really bad because like the dog definitely doesn't run the house and your dog's like delusional. Your dog actually thinks this is his house. That's not real. It's not. It's not real. It's fun to say. It's not real. Dog's got to know who's in charge, and just by controlling the schedule like that, you easily communicate that to them. Still let them have some fun though. My King Corso will be 4. Do I need to shorten his walks? At the moment, we do an hour in the morning, 20 minutes in the afternoon, 20 minutes before bed. As he ages, does that time need to be reduced? I don't think so. No, 4, you're talking prime time, baby. 4, 5, 6, a healthy dog with good genetics, that's prime time, baby. That's prime time, especially a male. You know, Freddie's still maturing. No, once they get past 2 and they start getting into 3, now you kind of have a man on your hands. You know, now you kind of have we're done with school, we're done with college, like we're out in the world, we're like a real person that kind of dealing with a man at 3, 4 mark. So you have 5, 6 years old, maybe a little later, a healthy dog. So no, those walks are perfect, even for an older dog, you know. If you don't use it, you lose it. Body starts breaking down if they're not using it. So if there's like no running on concrete or anything like that, the walks, I'm with that. A little later in life, walking in grass might be a little better, but a good diet will have a lot to do with that too. If they're on kind of a crappy kibble, maybe they won't be prime time 4, 5, 6 years old. You know, maybe they'll be on the down. They peaked at 2. So diet actually has a lot more to do with that. Now, if you were like, hey, I play 3 hours of fetch with my Corso with a chucket on concrete every day, yeah, no, no. But just to walk, healthy diet, yeah, keep it rolling. Thank you. That was helpful. Thanks. I'm glad. That's why I'm here. French ring. If the dog used the hurdle from 1.15 meters, 1.2 meters, what do you do at the moment to overcome it? The dog starts seeing it as impossible but never had issues. How do you work on your maximums? Okay, this is a technical question here. For anyone that doesn't know what he's talking about, you've seen it on my videos. I just posted a short this week. My dog jumping the hurdle in French ring. Hey, that sucker gets tall. 1.2 meters? That thing's tall. So this question is here. My dog can jump it at a lower height, but when I increase the height, it's hard for him. How do you incrementally increase? And from this example, you could put it towards almost any behavior. First things first, when it comes to the hurdle and French ring, I always try to get to the max as soon as possible. Because if a dog has too much experience jumping at a certain height, you get stuck there. It's their muscle memory, not their willingness. It's the muscle memory of it. So I don't like to sit at a certain height very long. I don't think that's going to help you now. We're past that. One thing I do with my hurdle is the top bar is steel. In training, you're not allowed to have that in trial. Here's the reason. The jump corrects the dog for me if he hits it. So if it's a typical PVC pipe and your dog smashes into it, they don't really care. Take a long piece of PVC and just punch it. You don't care. It's not unpleasant. It doesn't hurt. Steel pipe. If they hit that with their feet, it's like punching a steel pipe. And they go, oh, damn, hitting that jump sucks. For my dog and other dogs, that's effective. For some dogs, they just got hurt. Oh my God, I'm not going to jump again anymore. I'm just throwing things out there. That's one thing I do though. So if my dog does hit the jump, I don't have to really say or do anything or tell him it's wrong. I just go collect him, put the bar back, set him up again. Stay away from training this as you see it in trial. Don't worry about stays. Don't worry about returns. Don't worry about trial picture. Your dog needs confidence getting up over that high jump. Put some barriers on either side of the jump, little fencing panels. Going around is not an option. Put one on underneath. Going under ain't an option. You hold the dog back and you amp them up. Someone's on the other side with a toy shaking it. You send them. That person's baiting it over the jump and runs back. So now the dog runs and jumps. If your dog, this is dangerous game to play. If your dog just tips it a little bit, reward him anyway. It's dangerous, but you need to more reward the dog saying, all right, I'm going to do this, rather than doing it perfectly, because the jump's all about confidence. So mark the confidence. Don't pay the dog every time they crash into it. But don't necessarily wait for that perfect one either. If he jumps and it's pretty decent and he gives really good effort and he just tips the bar, give him the toy. Don't throw a big jackpot party, but just go, yeah, give him the toy. Go to him, get the toy, set him up again. Throw it back to the other person, amp him up. Obedience is off the table. Amp him up, go on. Boom. He runs, he launches over. Okay, maybe he tips it again a little bit. Yeah. You're going to have to balance that out, but it's more important to reward the effort of the dog going over at this point than the actual perfect jump. Because now you can reward a bunch of jumps rather than none. It's a dangerous game to play, but over time, if he tips it a little bit, okay, maybe we don't reward that one. Okay, he still jumps over with confidence. Now, if he does clear it, yes, throw the ball, run over, have a wrestling match with him. And then move on. Don't worry about coming back over. One way is fine. There's also little things for the hurdle. So say this is your hurdle, dog's jumping it. There's little like apparatuses you can make. It makes like two things here, and then there's a string here. There's a string here. Basically forces the dog to jump over these two things. Does that make sense? So they really got to get over. So there's ways you can rig the jump up, different little tricks you can do, but reward that effort a little bit. Feel free to keep me posted on that. Get rid of all that obedience, though. Don't make him sit and stay. Don't make him place. Don't make him jump back over. Just have him, whew, bang, and let him rip. That way, the only thing your dog ever needs to worry about is blasting over the jump. He don't got to worry about heel. He don't got to worry about sit stay. He don't got to worry about place. All that just takes his drive down, and it gives him more things to think about and question. That's how I roll. Ashley says, how's being a world-class decoy? How has that deepened your ability to read the dog as a handler? Yeah, I was talking about this on Nate Schomer's podcast. Watch it. A lot of people don't know. Pretty good decoy. But in trial, what a decoy is the decoy's the bad guy. The decoy's there to steal your dog's points. It's a sparring match. I'm going to read the technique and the training the dog's bringing to the field, and I want to try to expose it. I need to find little holes, little chinks in the armor. I need to do that in real time. I have 10 seconds. And certain exercises, 15 seconds. So I have to read the dog on the spot, and what I do, how the dog reacts to it. I have to break them down, and I have to steal that dog's points. If a dog comes onto the trial field and just beats the hell out of the decoy for 15 minutes and walks home with all their points, the judge looks at the decoy like, huh, really? Is that your friend? Is that your life? Why? You couldn't do anything to the dog? You're telling me? Okay. Well, we'll see you never. You're supposed to be a menace. You're supposed to scare handlers. You're supposed to be in there stealing their dog's points. Oh my God. I'm dreading the defense with Andy because X, Y, and Z. So that ability to read lightning fast Malinois in real time in competition, yeah, of course, makes you a better reader of dogs in general. Because if I see, Ashley, if I'm decoying a trial and I'm out on the field with the dog and I see that I do this and the dog does that, oh, I got you. I just found something. And when I find something, I keep going at it. That's your weakness. Think about like a kickboxer, like a kickboxing match. One of the kickboxers realizes his opponent's ribs are hurt. What's he gonna do, baby? We going after those ribs. Oh, yeah, we are. I smell blood. I'm going for those ribs. So if I see anything with the dog on the field where they lack technique, get weirded out, have a lapse in judgment, oh, I got you now. And I'm exposing them. Decoy stuff. Suggestions for indoor training for a Malinois. For a couple months a year, the winter here is intense. I hear you. Thinking about a treadmill and starting scent training. Both those things are totally cool. I would encourage you to do both of those. Personally, I don't do either of those things with my Malinois inside. It's not really my thing. Have done it, but not my thing. But totally do it. That's a perfect winter exercise. With Fred in the winter, Yeah, my indoor space, I have some videos on this. We'll do what I call a power round on the tug. Just get him biting, maybe get him barking a little bit, but yeah, I definitely feel your pain. Some of my friends have facilities I make it to every once in a while, but I tell my clients treadmills, slap mills, it's a good investment. When your dog is good on that thing, throw them on there for 10, 15 minutes. Woo, boy, you set the rest of the day. So I would definitely encourage you to do those two things. What's up, Karen? Me and Karen, we had a great chat yesterday. Longtime Patreon member. Come up with a nice new game plan for her dog's reactivity. Andy, is it doable to be a dog trainer but not do board and trains? Thanks. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Offer some lessons, offer some group classes. Now, should you be charging? No. No, you shouldn't be charging. You want to go out and you want to help some people. You want to volunteer your time. You want to give them a lesson. You want to invite a couple people to meet at the park and work on a couple things with a couple different dogs. You offer your time on that. And you need to learn through firsthand experience, okay, this is what could work in a lesson. They responded to this, they didn't respond to that. I thought this would work for the dog. It didn't really work for the dog. You know, until you become pretty well versed in dog training, I'm not big on like, that'll be $100. I'm not really big on that. I'm like, dude, you've never even done this before. What are you talking about? But volunteer your time, help as many dogs as you can. You don't need to do board and trains to have a positive impact on people's lives with their dogs. Just the knowledge you've accumulated through Patreon over the years and working with Hondo, I think you'd have a lot to offer the average dog owner, whether it be an informal lesson or whatever. I don't think you should be charging right now, but definitely get out there and see what you can't do. Hey, you start getting great results month after month after month, maybe you're onto something. But guys, I just really can't stand. Okay, are we still live? No? Okay, good. No one's watching this. You know what I really can't stand? I can't stand, because everyone's a dog trainer in 2026, meaning like that's how they make a living. They go do one or two things and they go, okay, I'm a dog trainer now. I'm going to charge what Andy charges. Okay. When I started training dogs, I trained dogs under the supervision of professionals at a facility for years for free. I was able to work at the facility as a staff member, taking care of dogs, letting dogs out, helping with this, helping with that, blah, 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 just kind of the overall helper, overall employee. But at the same time, I was studying under multiple dog trainers there, and I had my hands on all kinds of dogs under their supervision for years before I saw a penny from it. Yeah. And just because maybe you do got some skill at this or that, well, it doesn't mean now you can charge all this money for it. There's got to be a certain level of experience. You have to be in front of so many dogs and get results with this dog and this owner, that dog and that owner, this breed, that breed. Got to really get a lot of results with a lot of different dogs. And no matter how good you are, that just takes time. Not everyone is going to be good. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to look back and go, oh my God, I can't believe I did that with that dog. Don't be in a rush to charge, but any dog you can get your hands on, definitely do it. Yep, treadmills are good. Hide and seek with a toy works. Here's Karen again. How does your daughter do with leaving the puppy in the crate? Does she just know your rules and is fine, or does she want you to let him out? Karen, I'll tell you what. I got to brag a little bit. Karen, my daughter, there is not a world that exists where she would ever go let a puppy out of the crate by herself. That world, and I've never yelled at her. I've never made a point of it. I've never been, she don't do that. She would never do that. Never. But almost every client that I have with kids, this is a problem. They go, oh, the kids let him out. I didn't even know. Man, hey, I thought I was a dog trainer. That's a little beyond my scope. Should I tell you how to parent? I don't know. Probably not. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a huge no-no. My daughter did do that. I'd give her up for a dog. Kidding! No, if she did do that, I would say, whoa, 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 hon, what are you doing? Oh, no, 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 hon, we can't. Hon, you can't do that. No, 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 don't do that. Please, no, no, no. And she'd go, oh my God, I'm sorry. No, there's no way. That's a huge problem. No way. How are you going to control the dog? You can't even control the kid. The dog's going to say, hey, you don't got control over that. You don't got control over me. No way. It wouldn't, not even a thought up in here, Karen. No, 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 no. She would never. She didn't even give a crap about that puppy, by the way. She'd been around so many dogs her whole life. She could care if the puppy's out, the puppy's out. If the puppy's away, the puppy's away. She doesn't care at all. She likes her cat better. How to keep my Belgian Malinois from counter surfing? Great question. The old counter surfer. Now, some people will tell you it's just this simple. When the dog jumps on the counter, hit him with the e-collar. Problem solved. Definitely, that can work. Should there be a lot of things in place before you get there? Yeah. Treat the counter surfing like you would treat a dog jumping on you. And I'll make the comparison because if you've been here from the beginning, I just did a lesson yesterday with a board and train, took him where he's going to be. All we worked on was not jumping. The key to stopping a dog from jumping, part one, come on, up here. Come on, come on, come on. You can't get him to jump on you if you try. You can't trick him into it. That's exactly what I did with this dog. Come on, come on, come on. He goes, okay. And he jumps up on me. And I go, no. Tick, no. And he's like, oh, oh. And I go, no. Nothing crazy. And then I go, and he sits there. And then I stop and I go, good. I love you. I love you. Good boy. No. Good. Treat. Okay. To where I can bring that dog. Then I have my wife do it. Then I have my friend do it. And we go through the same prep. You can't get the dog to jump on you. You go, nah, I know this game. Counters kind of got to be the same thing. Take a piece of food, put it on the edge of the counter, show it to the dog. Dog goes to jump up. Don't let him get the treat. Dog goes to jump up. No. Put the treat there, wait. No. Put the treat there, wait. Good. Produce a second treat and give it to him. You want to come up here? Yeah, sure. No. It's a trap, stupid. No. You want to come up here? No. You want to come up here? You want to come? Good choice. Walk away. Before we just start blasting on an e-collar, let's give the dog some context. Let's not have baptism by fire. Just the same with jumping. Now, the dog I did all that with, if he goes and jumps on someone and gets a little spice on the e-collar, makes perfect sense to him. He goes, I know I'm not supposed to jump. Stupid. Makes sense to him. He's not just getting blasted out of nowhere. Sure, they can learn that way, but treat the counter the same way. Create some games. reward the dog, and the game is I can't even trick you to get up on this counter. Now, that's not going to fix everything completely forever, but that's going to give the dog context. So when you do give a little spice on the e-collar, it makes sense to them, and they're not just terrified of the kitchen from now on because they don't know what the hell happened in there. Love these in-depth answers. Thank you. And thanks, guys, for being here. I really appreciate all you guys tuning in and hitting me with the questions. I love doing this. I take a pool noodle and cut it down on one side and put it on the top slat. I stack old tires on either side for the jumping thing. Nice. Question, how do I train my dog to listen to me even when there is strangers? My dog barks a lot at visitors and does not stop. What can I do to calm her down and stop barking? Fun with Mary. How do I train my dog to listen to me even when they're real distracted and nervous is basically the question. Look, not to go crazy long with this. There's things you can do, Mary, but you first have to look at the dog's lifestyle. Is the dog just hanging out of the crate, chilling all day, every day? Or do you have the dog on a regimented schedule with a lot of training involved? First and foremost, with any issue you run into, the lifestyle is always what I look at first. Because that lifestyle, there can be a bunch of symptoms popping up that are a result of that lifestyle. So instead of addressing this, and that, let's get to the root cause. So I want to make sure the lifestyle's right. They're in their crate. When they're out of their crate, they're outside. They're pottying, they're training, they're exercising, they're playing, we're productive. We're not just free roaming, chilling all day. That's the first thing. That regimented daily schedule, they can still have fun, they can still hang out, they can still be a dog, but that regimented schedule just builds a baseline of discipline in the dog. They're not, baseline discipline. So the lifestyle is the first thing. And I'm trying to figure out from your question, does this only happen in the house? Or is this out on a walk like anyone the dog sees? That matters a little bit. Just so we don't go too long here, Mary. Generally speaking, I don't know your dog. I want to see the dog achieve neutrality in a command before I attempt neutrality out of a command. Take a sit stay, for example, maybe a climb command. Okay, we go outside, there's someone walking down the street, my dog barks at him. Okay? First order of business, I want to create a neutral dog in a command. Sit, stay. Rough, rough, rough. No, Fluffy. Sit, stay does not involve barking. I am correcting you leaving a sit. I am not correcting your barking. I want to see the dog achieve neutrality in a command first, because if they can't be neutral in a command, they're definitely not going to be neutral outside of a command. If I have a reactive dog and every time I take it for a walk, I say heel and it just reacts at everything, I don't have a heel command. Don't have one. Thought I did. I was wrong. You have to get a really reactive dog to achieve neutrality in the heel command. If they can't do it while they're under your command, how do you think they're going to do it when all the decisions are theirs to make? This is Distraction 101, my Clark series, introducing the first distraction. Yeah, that's pretty basic for where you're at, but you need to set aside a month or two where you're controlling the environment and you are incrementally, in a very calculated way, introducing different little distractions in the environment that the dog can overcome. Oh, a little distracted by that, we overcame it a few minutes later. A little distracted by that, we overcame it a few minutes later. What? Really? So the dog is just in this pattern, in this habit of being distracted by something, but then ultimately just coming back to you. If you can't do it around little stuff in a controlled environment, the strangers will be a disaster. So this is one where you don't want to go to the Super Bowl. You want to build this up. You got to build it up. You got to have a stranger come over, sit down in the chair, ignore the dog for 1 hour, and you're just working with the dog the whole time. If they don't want to work with you, they better get hungrier. And they got to master that. And you can't go to the Super Bowl just, oh, here, someone showed up. Hey, that's the ultimate test. You got to build the dog up to that. What's up from France? What's up? How do I train my dog outside? Inside my house, he does everything. 4-month-old Malinois. When outside, he's distracted with everything. Quick tip, super easy. You got everything rolling inside. Beautiful, beautiful. Step 1 complete. Good job. Now your dog's training sessions only happen outside. Do nothing with him inside. Don't feed him inside. Don't do anything with him inside. Outside is where everything happens. It's a little extreme, but your dog needs that. Malinois are extreme. They need extreme measures. So we're good in the house. Shelf it. We'll revisit in a month. The only time that dog eats food ever in his life is outside. The only time that dog eats food ever is outside from your hand. Now, your first several sessions might be a train wreck. No problem. Put the dog away, go try again later. Put the dog away, go try again later. Put the dog away, go try again the next day. Put the dog away, go try again the next day. As I said earlier, dogs adapt to environments fast if we do the right things. You need to pick up what you've done inside and you need to put it outside. You've tried that, it hasn't worked. So now you need to pick up what you've done inside, put it outside, eliminate everything inside, and outside is the only time the dog ever touches food of any kind. That's going to change his mind quick. Your environment is everything. If you live just on a crazy busy street where there's chaos all the time, that environment is just like a major handicap to you. You want somewhere chill. I want to build the dog up, get him acquainted with the idea of working outside before we go truck, kids, mailman. It's 4 months old, for God's sakes, and it's a Malinois. Spoiler alert, they're psychos. If they get fixated on something, compared to a normal dog, it's times a million. Everything they do is times a million. So anything you ever do is just outside. If that dog ain't outside, it's in the crate. He's going to start wanting to be outside and wanting to engage with you because that other outlet now is gone. So funny, my trainer's son is the same way, loves the dog, but prefers his cat. Yeah. Hey, to be honest, this is our first cat. That cat's chill. I like that cat. I'm like, man, that's easier than a dog. The cat's pretty chill though. My treadmill is from a company called Dog Mills from Holland. It's a slat mill with a slat bed that's adjustable, running horizontally to running on a hill. Nice. Yeah, that thing sounds sweet. I like the slat mill better than It's like a human treadmill. Thank you, Karen. She's pretty good. One last question from Mike. What do you recommend as high quality food? Same with proteins, nutrients, etc. Thanks for every piece of info you shared. You got it. You got it, Mike. We feed Ollie and Fromm. Yeah. You know what sucks with kibble, Mike? It's like every time I come onto a brand and I do some research on it, and I'm like, yeah, this is a good brand. Like 6 months later, it's like they found lead in this. It's like there's always something with every brand. Obviously, a raw diet is the best diet you could give a dog. It's also the most expensive you can give a dog. A brand of food that I really like to use when I was using kibble was a brand called Acana, 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 potato. And I knew that that was made right in Kentucky, and from what I gathered, it was a pretty high quality food. I don't know if anything's changed with that, but the Acana is one that I liked. Um, yeah, I don't think Fromm's too bad. Again, I don't do a ton of research on it, but I will supplement my dog's raw diet with a little bit of kibble every once in a while. Um, the Acana is a good one. I think Origin at one time was good, but I'm not the food guru. Like if you could supplement any raw, that's always good. So not sponsored, but if you go to a company like We Feed Raw or like the Farmer's Dog or something like that, even if you just grab, $50 worth, $100 worth here and there, and every couple meals you mix in a handful with your dog's kibble, maybe a little salmon oil or something in there, fresh egg in there. There's powders and supplements, but maybe a brand like Acana. I think Fromm's okay. Little egg in there, a little raw. That's good stuff. So appreciate your help yesterday. Already getting results. Thank you, Karen. That's what I like to hear. Trust me, guys, as a trainer, I love being methodical and going through a step by step and being patient and working at the dog's pace. I love all that crap. But I love progress fast too. I'll be real with you. Sometimes I'll say that'll take 3 months, probably. But I like results fast. If I tell you to do something and you're executing it and doing it correctly, yeah, we may not be at the finish line yet, but I want owners to go, that's working. I just saw that work. That's what I'm after. Too many trainers out there, yeah, just keep doing it, and over time the dog gets it. That'll be $300. And you go, okay, how long till it works? Every dog's different. Okay. Do we see any results today while you're here, or that's just in the future? Got it. No. I want to see some stuff working now. So far, the dog only barks in the house when we have visitors. She never went on walks ever before. Okay. So yeah, back to the previous question. People coming in the house. Yeah. I'd stick with the strategy from before. Look, have somebody come in the house. Your dog's going to go crazy. Okay. Manage it the best you can. Have them stick around a while. Ultimately, you get your dog to where they're eating food from you and not worrying about it that much. Okay, have them leave and come back in. Dog goes crazy a little bit. They sit down, you get the dog back. Every time you get the dog back, it should take maybe shorter and shorter to get the dog back, in theory. Okay. But the thing is, it is good that she's barking when strangers come to the house. We want that, but it's hard to have visitors. We don't want her to bark at the visitors, only if I give the command. Look, I'm with you. A nice benefit of having a dog is if some stranger walks up on your property that ain't supposed to be there and your dog just goes ballistic on their own and that stranger goes, check please, and they skedaddle, that's awesome. I'd be like, yeah, Fluffy, all that money I've spent on your food and vet bills paying off now. I agree, it's nice to have. But you got to think of your wants versus needs. I go over this with a lot of my clients. Wants versus needs. For me, I need a dog that can shut its trap when I have visitors come over. Like, I need that. Every time someone comes over, my dog goes ballistic. Like, no. Hi, Mom. Nice to see you. No. I need them quiet. I do need that. That's me. Maybe they don't need it. I'm not judging. But at my house, I need it. Do I want my dog to bark at a stranger and maybe deter someone? Heck yeah, I do. But that's a want. It's not a need for me. So you have to figure out what your wants and needs are. And you're like, hey, well, it'd be nice if, I could tell them a command and they could bark, but like my friends, they knew. Well, yeah, that would be nice. I mean, it'd be nice if my dog went out there and got a perfect score like he's supposed to. It'd be nice if my dog always did what he was supposed to. In theory, he should, but they're dogs. And like, yeah, that would be nice, but everyone wants the unicorn dog. What do you need, though, from the dog? Hey, I need you to not stress me out and frustrate me every time someone comes up. Like, I definitely need that. This coming week, I think, on YouTube, I'm coming out with a barking video, and it touches on reactivity. It touches on how to use barking, how to manage it. I really think that's not only going to help you, but a lot of other people on here, because for reactive dogs, there's a lot of things we need to do to make them stop reacting, but we need to give them an outlet for the bark. Reactivity can be complicated, but sometimes, guys, it's simple. Dogs like to bark. Some dogs need to bark. Daily, weekly, they need it. And you go, oh yeah, I let my dog bark here and there. No, not like that. I mean bark. A true round of legit barking. That'll soothe the soul for a lot of dogs. Dogs just like to bark. Makes them feel good. Vents stress, frustration. Dog bark! So you may have an uphill battle just trying to shut your dog up. Let's teach him to shut up, and then let's teach him this is the time, this is the venue for you to unload. We're going to play a game. You're going to unload barking on your toy. That's what we're going to do. And after 15 minutes, you're going to be exhausted and you're going to have barked 100 times. And so when Mr. Mailman comes later, after doing that and having some of our training and strategy, so much better. That's a big missing link with a lot of reactive dogs. Do they have a game they can play where you allow them to bark? And that is how you're going to get to the point of, I want it on command. I want it. You got to have it on command for a toy first. It's got to be a game. Think about it. We've done it, y'all. Another live in the books. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate your questions. Keep your eyes peeled on the YouTube. Bunch of stuff going to be dropping every week. for a while. I think you guys are going to like it. Hit the Patreon, patreon.com/Andy Kruger. Join the Cool Kids Club. If you like my YouTube videos, you're going to be obsessed with the Patreon. If you despise my YouTube videos, you probably don't want to join. But the Patreon is YouTube times 1,000. So that's how I roll. Check out the Nate Schomer podcast. Type in Nate Schomer, dog training, Andy Kruger in YouTube. I talked to them for a couple hours. All the questions you guys are asking on here, I already know you would love that. Thank you. All right, y'all. I got dogs to train. Happy training. We'll see you guys on the next one. Don't screw it up.